The best of Bridgewater, presented in quadraphonic sound.
We now return to Dino Mare, in color.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Best of Bridgewater for April 24th, 2020. I'm Lynette.
And I'm Pat Hurdle. We've got a great lineup for you this week, teeming with outstanding musical talent, and we hope a few laughs along the way, too. We're going to kick off our show tonight with Danny Banfield.
As Danny will explain, he's a relative newcomer to the Bridgewater area. We're so glad that he's calling our community home and volunteering to step up and share his musical talents. With an original song and a cover hit you'll easily recognize, please welcome Danny Banfield.
Hi folks, I'm Danny Banfield. It's so nice to meet you. I'm so proud and privileged to have been invited to participate in the Town of Bridgewater variety show, the online variety show Friday nights for you guys. Staying home, socially distancing, doing the right thing, helping us not spread this COVID-19. So while you're at home doing that for us, for you, we are going to play some songs. And thank you again to Pat Hurdle, the Town of Bridgewater, for inviting me to do this, as I'm a relatively new resident in Bridgewater. Moved down here just over a year ago from the city, and I'm so glad to be on the South Shore. I love it down here so much. This is a song I wrote in 2011. I was about to take some vacation from my job, and I decided I wasn't going to travel. I wasn't going to go anywhere. It was a staycation. I was going to stay home. I was going to get everything done that I ever wanted to get done while I was home. Had some time on my hands, and these are the times that here we are. We've got so much time on our hands, and certainly it's never enough. That's why I wrote this song. A 1 week of vacation, all I need. I'll live on wine and bread and get you up in my sleep. Make love to my love, find something to read. 1 week of vacation will get me up to speed. All the things I don't do, gonna get them done. Get my world together and get some sun. Hang out with my children, let them see my pride. Then again I might put another week aside. So 2 weeks of vacation is all I need. I'll live on wine and bread, get you up in my sleep. Make love to my love, find something to read. 2 weeks of vacation get me up to speed. And all we want I don't call, gonna call him up. Play some 8-ball, crank my amp back up. I got so much you gotta do, I got a fence I wanna paint. But this week of vacation is postponed due to rain. So 3 weeks of vacation is all I need. I'll live on wine and bread, get you up in my sleep. Make love to my love, find something to read. 3 weeks of vacation will get me up to speed. I gotta work, but when my working week is through, then I gotta forget my work, put my arms around you. Maybe write a song, then let it go too. Put my ripped jeans on, throw Sadly, I figured out, no matter how you try, 4 weeks of vacation, 5 weeks of vacation, no amount of vacation will ever satisfy. That's vacation. Thank you very much. For my next song, I'd like to play a song, one of my favorite songs to play, and just one of my favorite songs of all time, by the Beatles, called Here Comes the Sun. And my reason for playing this is because it's the spring, and I'm so glad it is the spring, especially given what's going on. That we can be coming into this time of year is a blessing, I believe. So this is about the spring coming. George Harrison wrote this song for the Beatles. He wrote it. He was playing truant one day. He decided not to go to an Apple meeting with the other guys from the Beatles, so he decided to go and hang out at the country home of Eric Clapton. He took his ukulele along and wrote this little ditty, which is the most streamed Beatles song of all time. So let's give this one a try. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, do-do-do-do. Here comes the sun, I say it's alright. Little darling, the smiles returning to their faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, do-do-do. Here comes the sun, and I say it's alright. Sun, 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 here it comes. 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 Darling, well, I see the ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, do-do-do. Here comes the sun, I say it's alright. Here comes the sun, here comes the sun, it's alright, it's alright. Here it comes, guys, here comes the sun, so excited.
Thanks for that, Danny. We're looking forward to hearing from you again a little later on in the show. With Premier McNeil's directive to stay the Blazes home firmly in mind, a lot of folks have suddenly found themselves with extra downtime on their hands, and they've turned to that age-old hobby, baking. Our own Lynette de Montre is no exception, so let's check in with her new segment, Hot Times in Lynette's Country Kitchen.
Today, we're going to make some pretzels. This recipe is brought to us by our good friend, Mackenzie Child. Full disclosure, this is my first time making pretzels, but Each week we'll try out a new recipe that I've never done before and see where it takes us. So I have my instructions and ingredient list printed off here, and I will provide it online so that you can follow along. I also have all of my ingredients over here that I'll need for today's baking, and my stand mixer. If you don't have a stand mixer, you can probably get by with just a hand beater, but we'll find out. We'll figure it out together. Anyways, I'm looking forward to this. We're gonna have a lot of fun here. So let's get started. So to start ourselves off, what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna need some warm water to combine with some sugar, some salt, and some yeast. So I do have a packet of yeast here. It is just an instant quick rise yeast. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to measure out 1.5 cups of warm water to put into my stand mixer. Next we've got our sugar and our salt. So it asks for a tablespoon of sugar and 2 teaspoons of salt. Then we're gonna sprinkle the yeast on top, and we're gonna set it aside for 5 minutes or until the mixture foams. All right, so we're back here and we can see that we definitely have some foaming and some bubbling happening on top. So we're gonna go ahead with step number 2. You can hear my microwave because I've just melted some butter. So what we're gonna do is we are going to take 2 3/4 cups of flour and butter. It said 2 ounces of unsalted butter melted, so I've converted that to a 1/4 cup. And using a dough hook attachment, mix on low speed until well combined. So again, once it's nicely pulled away from the sides of the bowl, I'm going to turn it off, pull my dough out, grease my bowl, put the dough back in, cover it with plastic wrap, and give it 50 minutes for it to sit out in a warm environment. As you can see, our dough has doubled in size, and I've gone ahead and prepared the rest of our steps. I have an oiled countertop. I have 2 baking sheets lined, you can use parchment paper if you don't have silicone. And I've boiled my water over here with my 2/3 cups of baking soda in it, as well as setting aside my egg yolk and some salt to season them. So we're going to turn this out on the countertop like so. Excellent. And I'm going to throw this into the sink here, and I'm going to divide it into 8 equal parts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one up, and to the very best of my ability, it's really sticky, I'm going to try and create a 24-inch long tube. So it's looking pretty good. Instead of rolling it in my hands, I'm kind of just stretching it out. That's working well for me. So when you think you've got what you need, you're going to hold it in a U shape, and then you're going to, I'm actually going to lay it down here, cross it over like so. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to put them into my boiling water. We've preheated the oven to 450. We have our hot water boiling with our baking soda in it, and I've got my pretzels off to the side here. I'm going to go ahead and place them into the boiling water for 30 seconds, and when I pull them out, I will brush the top of them with my yolk mixture and sprinkle some salt on. We're almost there. And our pretzels have come out of the oven, and they look goldeny brown and delicious.
Okay, thank you, Lynette. Turning from the kitchen back to the stage. In the words of Broccoli Rob, our next performer comes with a primo set of pipes, champ. Let's welcome Heather Armstrong.
Hi everyone, Heather Armstrong here from South Shore Pipes and Drums Association. Hope you're having a wonderful time during this event. Wanted to mention that the South Shore Pipes and Drums on May 4th, 6 p.m. we're going to be doing an end-of-year awards ceremony online, facebook.com/South Shore Pipes Drums. You'll find out who has won throughout the year. You'll find out information on next year. As well, we're going to have a few members play some tunes for you. Anyway, so here's my tune. It's a reel. It's called My Lads Are Home. Anyway, that's it. My lads are home. It's a reel. Anyway, thank you, and we'll see you soon. Enjoy.
Thanks for that outstanding performance, Heather. We'll check back with you again a little later on in the show. The COVID-19 pandemic has impacted us all in different kinds of ways, and those who love sports are no exception. With rec facilities closed and large gatherings not permitted, the start of the sports season has sadly been delayed. But our sports correspondent tells us there are great ways to keep in game shape in your yard. So here's Kyle Z with Sports at Home.
Are you tired of washer toss? Bored of running in place? Kyle Z here with Sports Pandemic Style. I'm going to tell you how to make your own backyard batting cage for real sports stuff. It's the Kyle Z Pandemic Sports Thing. First things first, you're going to need the biggest, crappiest tarp you can find. Once you have that firmly in hand, take that thing and attach it to your clothesline. What the heck? No one's going to be using that these days anyways. When was the last time you hung clothes out? Like October? Stretch that tarp out and make sure that it's at least as long as a 1988 Ford Tempo. Now that was a car. Next up, you're going to want to find some neighborhood kid's old hockey net. Don't worry, they're not allowed outside, so they're probably not using it anyways. When you find that puppy, just steer the crossbar to the front of it. That's going to make the basis for your backyard batting tee. Hockey nets don't need crossbars anyways. Besides, what kind of a sport is hockey? If you're going to have something long and cylindrical, you better be whacking a ball with it. Next up, stick that pipe on top of an old camera tripod you have laying around. You know, like the kind that got broken at your cousin's wedding last year. Set that tee up in your yard, put a ball on top, and boom! Backyard batting cage extraordinaire. This is how we do it, backyard pandemic style. You want to make sure that that tarp is at least 8 feet off the ground. That way, if you've got your awesome trajectory and exit velocity down pat, it's gonna bang, hit that tarp instead of sailing into your neighbor's yard or through someone's kitchen window. I don't know, next thing you know, your creepy neighbor's over at your back door knocking on it being like, hey, someone hit this softball through my kitchen window. You don't have any idea who that was, do you? Nuts to that. It's backyard pandemic softball batting practice, Kyle Z style. That's what I'm talking about.
Well, that's our Kyle Z. There's a whole lot going on there. Now it's time to turn back to our stage with a little bit of ukulele magic. Our next performer grew up in Blockhouse and currently calls Ontario his home. With a heartfelt lyrical message for those back home, let's welcome Ryan Wilkie.
Well, hello, my South Shore friends. My name is Ryan Wilkie, and it's been a long time since I've seen you all. I hope everybody is safe and doing well. I'm actually now in Toronto with my wife, and we're safe. The reason why I'm doing a video for you now is because I actually used to be living in the South Shore. I was born and raised there. I grew up in Blockhouse. I went to junior high in Mahone Bay, and I went to high school at Parkview. And so I just wanted to send out my love to you guys during these times. I'm going to try to do a couple songs. I will warn you that my ukulele skills, they aren't the greatest, but, you know, I'm working on it, so we'll give it a shot. So the first song that I'm going to do is a song that I actually just wrote a couple days ago called Isolation 7. And then after that, I'm going to do a cover song that you might be more familiar with. So here we go. Okay, so that was Isolation 7. And don't consider myself to be a songwriter, but let's give it a shot. So this one is by Soul Asylum, and it's Runaway Train. So we'll give this one a shot. train, like a madman laughing at the rain. Little out of touch, little insane. It's just easier than dealing with the pain. Runaway train, never going back. Wrong way on a one-way track. Seems like I should be getting somewhere. Somehow I'm neither here nor there. Runaway train, never coming back. Runaway train, tearing up the track. Runaway train, burning in my veins. Runaway, but it always seems the same. But it always seems the same. But it always seems the same.
Thanks for that performance, Ryan. Next up, we want to use the magic of time travel to check in with Marla Benton.
I'm happy to share Marla's story with you. She came to the Des Museum as our Visual Arts Nova Scotia in-residence artist. Because of the pandemic, we didn't get to give her a proper send-off and publicly thank Marla for her time with us. Here's a little taste of her talent she shared with the whole community while with us at the museum.
Hi, I'm Marla Benton. I'm the Visual Arts Nova Scotia Artist in Residence at the Des Museum. I started off by making wall tiles. They were inspired by the photographs in the museum's collection. I picked out the ones of buildings that I was really interested in and that I thought were probably pretty significant buildings for Bridgewater in the past. And I created the tile to fit in a frame so that it could hang on the wall. And I chose to glaze them in a way that they looked old, just like the photograph. The tiles I knew were a fairly straightforward piece that I could make quickly. Because the gallery space was open to me halfway through my residency, I wanted to have something there right away. So time-wise, it's not as big of a commitment as some of the bigger sculptural pieces. And then from there, I went on to be making the pieces that are inspired by the folk art. And it was wonderful that they brought the actual folk art pieces out into the gallery space to sort of have that conversation between my work and the work they were inspired by. I was able to do a workshop with the ARC and a workshop with the grade 2 class from Bridgewater Elementary. And then I did an open studio where the public was able to come in, and we had people that were 3 years old to 80, and they were able to create their own tile and glaze it, and then I fired it, and I brought them back, and they're here to be picked up. And it was really enjoyable to watch the amount of people. I think we had 67 people coming through to make a tile in between 2 and 4 in the afternoon, so it felt really productive and positive. Yeah. When I applied for the residency, I applied with the intention of focusing on a couple larger sculptures of buildings, not necessarily from Bridgewater. I've been wanting to make the Mahone Bay Post Office, and I thought this was a great opportunity to have that focus time. So I had started that right at the beginning and was able to complete it in time to go into the gallery space on Saturday. And a lot of the time that I was here, I was working on the academy, the Lunenburg Academy, and I just took it home. I had to take it home at a certain time so that it wasn't too fragile when transporting it, so that it's drying. I'm going to be firing it, and I will be installing it in the gallery as well, but probably closer to the closing.
That's great. Thank you, Marla, and we're all looking forward to the time when the Desprezé Museum can once again open its doors to the public. Next up, we have a very special performance from Bridgewater's own John Dowe. Now, over the past couple of years, John has been putting renewed energy into growing his career as a performer, not just goaltending. So tonight, John's got a very special and very personal performance to share with us. Let's welcome to our stage, Mr. John Dowe.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Best of Bridgewater's Variety Show. My name is John Dowe, and if you believe that this is Friday, April the 24th, then it is my daughter Sophie's birthday. Number 13. Happy birthday, Sophie. We adopted Sophie from China when she was 11 months old. And she was 6 or 7 when she clued in that Dad wrote songs and had written some about everybody else in the family but her. And it's like, Dad, how come there's no songs about me? It's like, oh, it's crushing. I tried to write a children's song, and I just couldn't get it done. So About a year and a half ago, her and I were going to Green Bay Beach to go boogie boarding. And, that long stretch on the 103 after exit 13, and there was nobody around, and she's on her iPad in the back, and I've got the device there, and my Timmy's, and it's like, get a text, and it's like, and the wheel turned a bit, and I hit that rumble strip, and it's like, Dad, pay attention. It's like, I put the phone down, I looked up in the rearview mirror, and there she was, this big beaming smile, and it's like, a little bit of I got you, Dad, a whole lot of I love you. And I said, Sophie, I know, precious cargo, right? Precious cargo. And so, and that stuck with me. So for my daughter Sophie, on her 13th birthday, precious cargo. Life's complicated, we're all serrated, boredom is lurking around. The choices, the challenges, guilt, I'm surrounded by fears, some on no ground. I need a smack in the head to wake me from my chronic dread and remind me I'm glad you've seen the best that I have. Driving down that highway, take no gadgets my way. Coffee numbs the pain, boredom of the same. Oh, days will blend to one, my mind not on the road. Please pay attention, Dad, that's all you had to say. We got better than the wheel straightened in my hand. In the mirror, as she smiled at me, some serenity rushes through my head. The road got right ahead, precious cargo in the rear, precious cargo in between me and my worst dreams. We went far away, but we never strayed, knowing we did the right thing. I blew on your belly, you laughed at the telly, just share the same whimsical things. I hope as you grow you don't hide your fears and your feelings inside. Hope that you're glad that you've seen the best that I have. Driving down that highway, take no gadgets skyway. Coffee numbs the pain, boredom of the same. Oh, days will blend to one, my mind on the road. Please pay attention, Dad, that's all she had to say. We got better than wheels straight in my hand. In the mirror, I just smiled at me. Some serenity rushes through my head. The road got bright ahead. Oh, precious cargo in my heart, precious cargo in my head, precious cargo in your smile, precious cargo's all I said, precious cargo in the rear, precious cargo I have seen with you in my best dreams. Happy birthday, Sophie. So, a friend of mine back in my early 40s turned me on to John Prine. I've heard the name before, but of course he passed recently, very sadly. As I listened to his music, wasn't a big country fan. I like some country music, but the first songs I listened to were very country sounding, and you're not always paying attention to the words, and then after a while you do, and you kind of go, huh, that's kind of funny. And it's like, ooh, that's kind of disturbing, and it's like, oh, that's kind of brilliant, right? Anyway, this is not brilliant. This is an original inspired by John Prine. It's called The Color Song, or as I affectionately refer to it as John Prine Goes to Sesame Street. Have you ever been blue? just curled up on the floor. Of all the colors I have been, it's blue that I've been. Have you ever been blue? In all its somber shades, royal to navy, indigo, baby, lasts too long. Have you ever been red, and you completely lost your head? Of all the colors I have been red, hardest to ignore. The crazy things that I have done, you damage to the core. Good thing red, the color doesn't last too long. Have you ever been yellow? That's what they say when you're just mellow. That color's weak is what they cheek a pacifying fellow. It has the power to make your power much stronger as you wait. Yellow has the power to incapacitate. Have you ever been green? Look back and said, I was so mean. Of all the colors I have been green, leaves you wanting more. Not satisfied with what you got, and olive driving whore. Turn to teal, you know what color's next in store. Have you ever been blue, and you just curled up on the floor? Of all colors I have been, it's blue that I've been more. Have you ever been blue? In all its somber shades, royal to navy, indigo, baby, you'll last too long. Have you ever been blue, and you just curled up on the floor? Have you ever been red, completely lost your head? Have you ever been green? Looked back and said, I was so mean. Have you ever been blue? That color lasts too long. Thank you.
That was great, John. Thanks for that touching story and performance. Turning to stage B, it looks like she's traded her bagpipes for a 6-string guitar. Let's welcome back to the stage Heather Armstrong.
It's potion, and I need to share. Just let it fly, let it pass on by. The music has my soul, it swallowed me whole. I have no control, I've got the early rising rhythm and blues. It's wonderful, bountiful, plentiful, whatever we want to make. We're not just merely alive. And as this early morning, it turns to late. I'm starting to feel the signs of fate. No more scurrying, hurrying, worrying state. I'm gonna let it fly. The music has my soul. It swallowed me whole. I have no control. I've got the early rising rhythm and blues. One thing I know for sure, I'm not hiding anymore. One thing I know for sure, I'm not hiding anymore. I've got the early rising, I've got the ever confining, I've got the self-aligning, early rising rhythm and blues.
Fantastic, Heather. Thanks kindly for sharing your performance with us tonight. We're looking forward to having you back again in the weeks to come.
We'd like to properly book in the show for you. So, with another original song that stands as a tribute to Nova Scotia, please kindly welcome back to the stage Danny Banfield.
Now for my third and final song, I'm going to play an original that I wrote many years ago. I was young, I was living in Ontario, missing Nova Scotia, which makes sense. And I wrote this song sort of as a traditional Nova Scotian tune, and it brings me back to the theory that music is a haven for many people, myself included. For many years, I've hosted an event on Thursday nights just outside of Halifax in Sackville called the Free Jam. And with the COVID-19 crisis, of course, we've had to shut that down, but we immediately went online every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Go to my Facebook, Danny Banfield. You'll see the link, same link every week. And we've taken this online with all of the amazing musical talent that I've known through the years, coming out on Thursday nights to share for you guys. So certainly on Thursday nights, there's a little bit of a musical haven that you can participate in as well. In the meantime, thank you so much to Pat Hurdle, the town of Bridgewater, for doing this. This is a great idea. The musicianship and the vibe in Bridgewater and the South Shore is incredibly cool. And I'm so pleased to be a part of it and thankful for the amazing home that Bridgewater is, and for all of our officials that are doing all that they can in this very unusual time to keep us all safe, informed. We thank you very much for that. So, thank you again. This is called the Coal Miner Symphony. I believe I wrote it somewhere around 1981, 1982, in that range. Once upon a time there was a Nova Scotian man who picked guitar and wrote some tunes and traveled across the land. 20 years of writing songs for Nova Scotian folk. They'd listen with attentive ears and marvel as he spoke. He'd say, God, I love to see you smile, won't you sing along with me? He doesn't have to know the words, just hum the melody. So clap your hands and stomp your feet, don't fret if you're off key. The music's coming from your hearts and it sounds alright to me. You're all mine. Symphony. Music from the fingertips of a rough and calloused hand. Working in the coal mines can derange a normal man. 20 years of mining coal for Nova Scotian folk. They'd sit at lunch with his guitar and sing and laugh and joke. He'd say, God, I love to see you smile, won't you sing along with me? You doesn't have to know the words, just hum the melody. So clap your hands and stomp your feet, don't fret if you're off key. The music's coming from your hearts and it sounds alright to me. You're all mine. Symphony. It's been about 10 years ago today he lost his hand. That slab of rock don't like guitar despite the huge demand. The doctor said, I'm sorry friend, we'll have to take your arm. He just replied, thank God above, my music wasn't harmed. 30 years of writing songs for Nova Scotian folk lives on today as sure as when he sings the songs he wrote. He'd say, God, I love to see you smile, won't you sing along with me? You doesn't have to know the words, just hum the melody. So clap your hands and stomp your feet, don't fret if you're off key. The music's coming from your hearts and it sounds alright to me. You're all my symphony. Thank you very much, guys. I'm Danny Banfield. Please find me on Facebook. It's a pleasure to do this for the town of Bridgewater, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers.
Well, that's our show for tonight, folks. We'd like to thank all of our musical guests, Heather Armstrong, Danny Banfield, John Dowe, and Ryan Wilkie.
We're planning to drop our next show on Friday, May 1st at 7 p.m. Our musical lineup that night will include Noah and Sophia Clark, as well as many others.
If you'd like to get on the Best of Bridgewater, we'd love to hear from you. Just visit bridgewater.ca/Bob to learn more.
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Stay safe.
Here's a little taste of the towns that she shared while at the museum. Oh. Okay, one more time.
Baking, and our own Lynette de Montre is no exceptional.
The COVID-19 pandemic has affected all of us. All right, take it from the top again. I don't even know. Hold on, let me
It's going a bit slower,
Has
too.
impacted us in all kinds of different ways. She was like, what goes on at town hall? And I was like, you don't even know.
Actually, you know, it's funny you should ask why I'm not wearing socks. See, I always considered softball players who wore socks.
That's what you get for busting up my hockey hat, old man.
Oh, my softball knee. Oh, is this the end of Kyle Z?